We really hadn't been doing that over the last couple of weeks in a game like that with the limited possessions. It was everything we talked about we couldn't do, and obviously that's on us.
The discipline, that last drive, you guys have a chance to go down there and tie the game. The penalties just kill you. Is that something that is just not going to go away with this team, or what has to happen?
I'm not sure. We're in passing situations again, whether it's been the holding calls and things of that nature. We got in range, we thought, quickly, and then we got in the 1st and 20 and 2nd and 30 and on and on and on. And so, again, we got a long way to go. We know what it is. The only thing we know how to do is get back to work. I know it's nothing anyone wants to hear, but that's the reality of the situation every week in this conference. And so we've got to get those things corrected. Again, the frustrating part is you're moving the football, you get it down to the goal line, jump off sides, that sequence, the sequence before half put our team in a bad position, and we have to learn from those things.
Bush, what specifically has to happen in those red zone opportunities to make sure you are converting these drives where you're moving the ball?
Yeah, the one today was just inexcusable. I mean, we're down at the 1 yard line. Whether we should have called quarterback sneak. It was a base play we called. We jump off sides. We get behind the sticks in that 3rd down situation. So it's just got to be overall consistency to finish drives, and it hasn't. It starts with me and understand that.
What did you see out of the offensive line tonight?
I thought you guys know how it is sometimes after this of looking at the numbers, and certainly thought we ran the ball well. I think protection in a lot of ways there has been improvement, but in critical situations, there's just wherever those penalties happen, whatever the penalties were, the 12 for 105 yards or whatever it was, it just felt like every time we were about to get something going, we had self-inflicted wounds.
How much more frustrating is it that Mark just said so many of these issues are the same as for the South Carolina game, but it felt like you got those fixed, and now they come back?
Yeah, I think it's super, super frustrating, and again, just from a play calling standpoint, it's obviously something we got to address, because I think there's multiple games that you've seen with this offense that we're the ones that are hurting ourselves, and so we got to do a deep dive, and again. I get it from the outside part of it, but for us, we got to come back to work. We got a game next week, a game that we got to be ready for versus a very good opponent, and we got to get back to work.
Brock had his moments, but he also made some mistakes, and even another one that got lucky, got called back. But how would you assess his performance?
I think we know what we have with him and how hard he battles, and sometimes, as you guys know, with guys like that extend plays, sometimes it goes your way and sometimes it doesn't. I think everything with him, I do think, he's growing and he's taking 1 week at a time. Certainly, as you know, he's taking certain hits and things like that, and we got to get him as healthy as possible to finish out this year.
Was there a concentrated effort to take some of those hits off him today? Because I know he was on the availability report all week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he wasn't in a situation that we were going to be able to run him as the only guy in there, and so again, we've had the Gavin plan, and there was certainly a concerted effort to have Gavin carry the ball more.
I know Bush, you've probably been asked about this already, but how frustrating is it when you seem like you're moving the ball, or it seems like plays are working?
Off schedule, Brad, Diego just moving around. How did your guys react to that, do you think, and just getting out of the pocket?
Yeah, again, we knew that's a big part of his game, and the goal was to try to keep him in the pocket. I think the 1 3rd down that they did convert where, he had quite a bit of time, but we kept him in the cylinder. We had all the routes taken. He finally sort of slipped out. We had 2 guys just miss him, at the top of the pocket. That was sort of the plan. Obviously, the plan was not to give up the first, but it was to keep him and make him operate from in there. We took away all his, the options underneath, but we got to finish that tackle, both on the quarterback, and then when he does finally check it down the flat, those are tackles that in the past we've been able to pin down, and today we did not.
Brad, I know I've asked you this question before, but how frustrating is it for you guys to put together another strong defensive performance, 20 points allowed? I mean, that to give your team a chance to win a lot of games, and this year it hasn't.
No, I do not think we played well. I do not think we played well enough to help this team win today, and that's on me. That's on the coaching staff, and you know, more times than not, I'll take all of it. But I think our players would say, you know, it's on them as well. As a defensive unit, from coaching to players, we did not play well enough today. You know, when the opportunities presented themselves, you know, we gave up leaky yards, we gave up third downs that, you know, we worked those calls versus those specific plays, you know, and so that's the frustrating part, and so we all got to own it, you know, and I know our guys will. They'll come in, they'll be really stung by this. They were stung in the locker room, they were, you know, on the sideline. That's the thing with the iPads. There's no waiting until Sunday. You go to the iPad and you show them, they know exactly what they did wrong in the moment. And I don't. Sometimes that's obviously a good thing, but sometimes it's a bad thing, right? Because you know, you take it in that moment. Like, man, I cost the team that third down, and we tell our guys to have short memories, move on. But it's human nature, you know, and so there's a good and bad to that.
Thanks, Brad.
Last question with Brad.
Mark said that he'd been preaching to the team, motion doesn't win games. You got preparation, composure wins games. Is that, how much of a fine line is that? You want them to play with emotion, but you also want to play with that composure.
Yeah, any sport, but especially football, it's about going all the way up to the line, but you can't cross it, because as soon as you cross it, it's going to cost the team.
Let me see that over here.
So it's the fine line between playing physical, playing fast, but also playing smart. And you know, there's a pride piece in there where, hey, listen, sometimes you've got to swallow your own pride for the betterment of the team. And I don't think that happened, you know, across the board today.
Is that like something we talked about last year where guys have to understand, like, hey, you just can't, you know, guys feel like they're getting punked, and you have to tell them, like, no, that's not it. Like, you just have to play up to whatever is allowed within the confines of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play within the framework of the rules. And I don't know exactly, I think I saw it, you know, I think on the team we had 12 penalties. You know, we had the big penalty on the very first drive, you know, and, you know, could you say, you know, it was ticky-tack, but everybody understands there's an emphasis on if you have a chance to pull off the quarterback, you got to pull off him. And when you're playing a good team, you know, and a good offense and an efficient offense, you can't just give them free yards.
All right, thank you.